for you. Do you know who this guy is? Because he looks like Colonel Sanders from KFC, but that's not who it is actually. It's Robert Browning, who's a great famous poet. And he wrote My Last Duchess, which is the poem that we're going to be looking at today. And we're going to jump straight in with the importance of the title, because in actual fact you could say something about each of the 3 words in the title. First off, my. Now, the Duchess seems like she's owned by someone here, but the Duchess is a woman. You shouldn't own a woman. She's not an object. But here, my sounds really possessive, doesn't it? My last Duchess, my pen, that's my drinks mat, them's my Brazil nuts. So there, take some right chewing. Disgusting a Brazil nut. Don't know why I hate it. Anyway, what about the word last? Now, my last Duchess suggests that there's going to be a next Duchess. Like this guy is having loads of different wives. What keeps happening to these wives? A wife isn't like your old smartphone. You get bored of it and it gets old, and so you just trade it in for a new one. So what's happening to all these wives? It's like a sequence of them. Last Duchess, next Duchess, one after that. Oh, it's not boding well for these duchesses. Finally, there's the word Duchess, which immediately makes the reader think of wealth, power and status. 3 things that are pretty important in this poem. But that's not all we learn from the title. Underneath the main title, Browning has written Ferrara. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. Ferrara is here. This beautiful little town in Italy, Ferrara. It's where the poem is set. The poem is also set in 1564, and I am not 452 years old, so I feel a bit out of place. I think we need to make this look a bit older. That's better, but I'm not Italian. I'm a 21st century Northern style icon, so I guess that I need to transform into me, Donovicius Mulberini. I am a servant and a messenger and of course a 16th century Italian style icon. And I have been sent here to this fantastic mansion. It belongs to Duke Alfonso II of Ferrara. He is the narrator in the poem. It is his story that we listen to in the poem. And I have been sent here because my master's daughter is going to marry Duke Alfonso II. She is going to be his next Duchess. Now, I just have to go in there, sort out the wedding negotiations, and it's fine. But the Duke Alfonso II, he's very rich, very powerful and wealthy, and also, how you say, murderous psychopath. Okay, let's go. Good day. I am Duke Alfonso II of Ferrara. Now, before we get down to business, why don't I show you my private art collection? It's much more interesting than talking about the next victim. I mean, next wife. Follow me. Kind of already freaking out, but I cannot say no. I am a servant. He is a duke. Oh well, let's see what happens, eh? Look at that work of art. Look at that work of art. Yes, lovely. Did you know Robert Browning was a big art lover? This is why art is such a big theme in this poem. Bit of a contextual note there for you. Look at that work of art. Look at it closer. Closer. Look at it closer. What about that art? See, it's a lovely, like a beautiful grape. What about this part? Now, The form of the poem is what's known as a dramatic monologue, which means dramatic speech by one person, in this case, the Duke. Now, let's listen to the Duke and hear the poem, and I'll explain what he's banging on about.
That's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive.
As if she were alive? The way you say this makes me think she is dead. So, early in the poem, the reader starts to think, what has happened to the last Duchess? Is she dead? What?
I call that piece a wonder now. Fra Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands.
Fra Pandolf is the man who painted the picture.
Will't please you sit and look at her?
Why not? The Duke's last line, this rhetorical question asking me to sit, is a bit strange. On one hand, he clearly wants to show his power and authority over me. But on the other hand, I am here to talk about his next wife. Why is he telling me all this about his last wife? It's strange.
I said Fra Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance, but to myself they turned, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I. And it seemed as they would ask me, if they durst, how such a glance came there.
Wow, what a long, long sentence. From lines 5 to 13 is one sentence with lots of ideas crammed in there. It's all over the place. A little bit like the Duke has mixed feelings about this particular subject. He says about how people ask about the blush on the painted lady's face, and we will find out lots about this soon. But in this section as well, the Duke, he also goes on a crazy power trip. You see, he keeps the picture behind a curtain and he says only he is allowed to reveal the painting. Why? Art is meant to be seen, it's beautiful. But he controls it like he wanted to control his last wife. He wants to control the picture of his last wife, which is a bit crazy. And also, he says if they durst, which means if they dare to ask him about the painting. But why would anybody be scared to ask about the painting? It is clear that the Duke wants to be seen as powerful, intimidating, and scary. But also, I think this power trip is to hide the fact that he is also worried. He is worried about this blush, and what this blush means.
How such a glance came there. So not the first are you to turn and ask thus.
That line was very strange, and it shows how self-centered the Duke is. He says that I am not the first one to ask about the painting. But the problem is, I didn't ask him anything. I wanted to get out of here as quick as possible, because this guy, he is, he seems 2 slices short of the pizza.
Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only that called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek.
Blush just because he is there? What, this guy's got a seriously big head.
Perhaps Fra Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along her throat.
Her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much is a bit like saying, show more wrist, which in 1564 was similar to saying, get your kid off. Yes, the faint half flush suggests that this lady is young, she's beautiful. But the Duke seems jealous of the painter. He seems to take the mick out of what the painter might have said. And you can tell this because of the inverted commas on lines 16 to 19.
Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy.
He makes it sound like she was doing it on purpose, choosing to blush, which you cannot do. It's crazy.
She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whate'er she looked on, and her looks went everywhere.
He is suggesting that she had no taste, that she is a lower class of person, too easily impressed. He also suggests that she might have been promiscuous. Her looks went everywhere? You mean she looked at other men? He makes her out to be awful, but all we really learn is that she seemed smiley and friendly, unlike somebody I know.
So it was all one, my favour at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherry some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mules she rode with round the terrace. All and each alike would draw from her the approving speech, or the blush, at least.
So the Duchess seemed to smile at a lot of things. The Duke makes out that being a smiley person is a bad thing. He's a crazy, this guy. His last wife just seems like a lovely, friendly person. And also, did you see how angry he got about the guy who gave her the cherries? He starts throwing around the insults. I think I need to stay in this guy's good books.
She thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift.
It starts to become clear. He is a duke from a long line of richness and wealth, 900 years of noble status. And she shared in this power and status and respect because he married her. But now in return, what? She can smile only for him? She can blush only for him? She must be all his, like some kind of toy doll. It's no good. You see, he thinks if she smiles at any other person, it is, middle finger to him. It's ridiculous. This man, he's so controlling and arrogant.
Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling?
His rhetorical question here tells us that he chose to ignore her terrible behavior. Terrible behavior which was just smiling and blushing and being nice to people.
Even had you skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one, and say just this or that in you disgusts me. Here you miss or there exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessoned so, nor plainly set her wits to yours forsooth and made excuse, even then would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop.
Oh, dear, your feelings seem very strong, very clear. She disgusted you, and you chose not to talk to her about it because you are more important than her, better than her. But he chose not to stoop to her level, which is interesting because when someone chooses to do something, it suggests that they are calm and controlled, not angry and irrational. So the Duke chooses what he wants to do. Very calm, pretty psychotic.
Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whene'er I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile?
A rhetorical question. It shows the problem, that she smiled too much. What kind of problem is this?
This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together.
He is a psycho. She carried on smiling, he gave commands, and all smiles stopped together. He killed the last Duchess. At least that's what it sounds like. No, maybe he just sent her away or something.
There she stands, as if alive.
Oh my God, he had her killed. As if alive?
As if she were alive.
As if alive. It really echoes the second line in the poem, and it tells the reader, he had her killed. This self-centered, arrogant, psychopathic madman man.
Wilt please you rise?
Oh my Dolmio day, he's going to kill me too.
We'll meet the company below then.
Really? No, he's a trick, he's a trap.
I repeat, the Count, your master's known munificence, is ample warrant that no just pretence of mine dowry will be disallowed. Though his fair daughter's self, as I avowed at starting, is my object.
You have got to be joking. 10 seconds ago he practically admits to killing his last wife. But now he's just talking about his next wife, as if it's no big deal. And of his next wife, he says his daughter's fair self is my object. Again, showing that the Duke just sees women as something for him to own, an object to be controlled. But at least he's letting me go downstairs, because to be honest, I am, pooping my pants. Can't wait to get out of here.
Nay.
Oh.
We'll go together down, sir.
Oh crap, he's making me wait.
Notice Neptune, though, taming a seahorse. Thought a rarity which Klaus of Innsbruck cast in bronze. For me.
More art? Oh, bellissimo! Why is he telling me about more stupid art? He has just practically confessed to killing his wife, and now we talk about art again? He's crazy. It's like he doesn't care at all. 1 minute I murder my wife, next minute we talk about art. It's all fine. It is not all fine. This is classic psychopathic behavior. Look at the little seahorse. And also how ironic that this sculpture shows Neptune, a godlike man, taming a tiny, insignificant, fragile little seahorse. Just like how he wants to control his tiny, insignificant wives. I feel so sorry for the next Duchess.